Hello, everyone. Welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD. I have a little bit to say. I've said it in my last two videos. This will be the last time I address it. If you just want to go to the review, skip about a minute forward. But just to let everyone know who's been following me, unfortunately, I'm going to have to start my channel from scratch. Obviously, this is a new channel. I lost a couple hundred subscribers. For some people that might not seem like a lot, but for me that was a lot. I put a lot of work and effort into this channel, and YouTube decided they don't really care about fair use and kind of disabled not only my Otaku Talk OD channel, but every single channel registered under my email. So that was kind of screwed up. And I'm still doing my appeals and whatnot because I legitimately operated under fair use. But what can you do? So starting fresh. Hopefully, I can get this started. But I just wanted to give a big shout out and thank you to anyone that made sure to follow me from my other channel to this one. It really sucks. I wasn't able to release a video on that channel saying, "Hey, this is what's happening. Let's move over here." And I haven't really made a big presence on my Twitter and my Facebook, so that bit me in the butt. But hey, lessons learning forward, right? One door closes, another one opens. So yeah, so I just want to give a big shout out to anyone that adamant like that Google that was like, yo, where the hell did Otaku Taco D videos go? Hey, I miss talking to that guy. I miss hearing what he had to say. Where is he? And actively like took the initiative to find like my new channel or find my Facebook and find me from here. Like that literally means a lot to me. Like that's something that like I always like kind of wanted a community that like legitimately like cared about my videos. So if you're one of those people, thank you so much. Also, shout out to anyone that's just, doesn't have a clue what the hell's going on, but this is your first time on my channel and you're checking out. Thank you for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please, please, please. I'm begging here more than like I normally do in my reviews. Please subscribe. If anything, subscribe. I really need to build back up to bare minimum 100 subscribers. That way I can, make the custom URL and I could get some of the, advantages of being a YouTube content creator again and all that stuff. It's going to be a long arduous process, but it's one I'm willing to do over again. This is something I'm very passionate about. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into the review. All right, everyone, chapter 223 of Dr. Stone. Chapter title 0. Yo, this was a very feels good chapter. I also like the fact that because I didn't do my last couple reviews, I got to, read about 3 chapters in a row. And similar to like my situation with My Hero, the 3 chapters in a row really flowed well together, culminating up into this moment. I don't know why I somehow just like came in at the perfect times to read a lot of these series. Like with My Hero Academia, I come in right as they're about to, set forth their plan to use the traders to what? Whoops. Oh well. I guess I could edit that out, but we'll see. But yeah, they culminate their plan to manipulate All for One. And then here they are finally culminated in the launch of the rocket ship. So yeah, man, they got it's the culmination of the series. Like Senku went to space, so that's really dope. So we start off the chapter with them testing out the spacesuits, right? Chat like 1 or 2 chapters ago, they established like the roadmap for the spacesuits and all that. So I'm not gonna get into all that. I'm just gonna purely talk about this chapter. But they do a water test of the spacesuits. The spacesuits seem to hold up. They seem to be good to go. So we won't spend that much time there. Then after that, we get some really touching scenes from the loved ones of everyone going to space. We have Kohaku talking to, Kohaku talking to her sister, Ruri, who, by the way, I'm not sure if I'm just noticing this, but Ruri is kind of slim thick. Like I always knew Ruri was bad, but Mangaka gave her a little bit of some arch when he was drawing. He said, ah. So that was really that was really cool. And then we have Chrome talking to Senku, and you have to remember that how important Senku is as a person to Chrome. Like he literally is this man's sensei. Like he came into his life and showed him that like, hey, all that stuff you've been experimenting with, the stuff that they made fun of you for, like there's something to it, and that like if you with this base knowledge, you can create and do so many things that you didn't even think were possible. Like you have to remember that like Chrome was playing as like a wizard and like, look, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and Rome is actually like a very he deserves a respect thread and like a video or something dedicated to him by someone at some point. Maybe it could be me, who knows? But the very fact that he was, a true denizen of the stone world without ever knowing about science, but was discovering scientific things on his own is exactly like what, the people we study today did. The people that invented mathematics and like various formulas and discovered various elements and stuff like that. They didn't have the luxury of the knowledge we did from textbooks and whatnot. They just lived life experiences, were highly aware, put the scientific method in practice, and just figured stuff out. So I honestly respect the mess out of Chrome for that. And then we have almost my favorite. It's either my favorite or second to favorite, like touching moment this chapter, because there's a really another really strong candidate for a really touching moment. But we have Xenos and Stanley talking to each other, and it is just the most adorable thing in the world. Their relationship with each other is just, it seems super deep. Like I was reading one chapter, I was reading like it was either the last chapter or the chapter before that, and like I don't know, man, they a little sus. I don't care, but like they seem a little sus, especially that one part where like Stanley like caresses Zito's cheek. I'm like, I don't know, man. Is there something going on here? Is there something you want to tell us? Is there a closet involved, or y'all just like really insanely close friends? So, anyway, I just lost my mind when Xenos is like, hey man, there's no smoking in space, but I'm your boy. I wanted to take care of you, so I made you, chewable tobacco in the form of cigarettes, so you can entertain your habit while in space. And like that's such like a sundir like uh I don't know, like I don't know what it is. Like that job was just so touching. Like wow, like you are like a human to like the people you love and care about. Just like honestly, many of us as people in general, we only show our vulnerable emotional side to like a select few. And it was just really nice to see that moment between Xenos and Stanley. So that was adorable. Then we have the people that were originally supposed to go, hyping those going, which I thought it was kind of cool because it was like loved ones and then like someone who could have gone from, and then it's uh people that could have gone and then like quote unquote a loved one, because first of all we have Sukasa kind of just hyping up, empowering Kohaku like, yo, you got this, between your martial arts and physical ability and Stanley's marksmanship, you guys are a force to be reckoned with, like you got this. So that was really nice. Then you have Ryusui talking to Stanley like, "Hey man, like you're the right man for the job, right?" Like obviously like he's not doing, like one can interpret this as being like a dick move, like you got this, but no, I think he knows that like Stanley feeds off that. Stanley knows exactly like what he's going through. Like there was a scene in the previous chapter where you know, his Francois is talking to Risui and like, I know you really wanted this. Risui is practicing shooting a gun, just in case, like, like he gets called up, kind of like an understudy in theater. Like, you have to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, and like anything could happen. So he's a likely contingency, and then you just have like you have that moment where Stanley flexes on him, where he shoots from even further away from where Ryusui was, basically like encapsulating the reason why. Don't worry, I got this. I am the better choice. I don't think it was a dick move. I think it was just a assuaging of, Reese's thoughts and feelings, and just confirmation that no, bro, you made the right choice. I know it was a difficult choice, but it was the right choice, and often those things are one and the same. So after that, we have the cake queen Luna herself, her royal thickness. Jesus Christ. Like, oh my god. And anyway, she's freaking out about the the takeoff, and which honestly prompts everyone else, kind of voice their concerns. We even have a moment, like, just everyone has to confront the risks that are actually being taken here. Like, it was one thing when it was just like, a plan on paper, just like an idea, but like nah, everything's pretty much done now. We're all set to go. Like, all that's left is for us to get on the ship and go. And so like everything's like real at this point. Like, there's a moment in like just all our lives where a concept or a dream actually culminates, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, it's time to like to do this damn thing. And so that's essentially what's happening here. And even Jin the Mentalist, his whole idea is, I his whole theme is like, he's a great liar and like, manipulator and whatnot. And even he is like, yeah, it's okay, like they got this, they can do this, like they're gonna be petrified, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But like, even he can't keep like a straight face, even he can't like hide his reluctance, his skepticism to the situation, and just gives us a bit of like, humanity and vulnerability in all of this. Like, damn, like there is a very real, tangible chance that this could go awry and we could lose everyone, including, Senku, which everyone has formed a bond with. And so at this moment, it's just very, very real for everyone. Anyway, we have the second moment that I think, kind of, all right, technically, all right, let's be real. This moment kind of not ties, but like takes first. But I don't know what it is, but something was just super powerful about the Stanley Xenos moment. But technically, like on paper, this scene is just holds way more weight. And essentially, Taiju is basically like, no, screw all that. Even if the rocket launch is a abysmal failure, the rocket ship blows up, and the pieces of your petrified corpses are like are spread around, I'm going to collect them. And Senku, being the scientist he is, and knowing that Taiju is his best friend, and like Taiju would try, like he definitely believes Taiju would try, but just being the scientist he is, he knows the like unlikely like likelihood of it being able to be done. Like, the fragments of their petrified bodies would probably fly like miles away. I don't know the math, but let's just say it would fly miles away, and then they're above a body of water, so it would be in the water, and so it would be really, really difficult to find, and I would honestly say near impossible. And Senku realizes that and is like, yeah, I know you would try, thanks homie, like good looks. And little Taiju's like, no, you don't can understand me, I'm not going to try, I will do it. I don't care how long it takes, I don't care if it takes decades. Me and Yuzuhira are going to find every piece of you guys and put you together on God stamp. Best believe that shit. We're going to do it. And I was like, yo, I respect that. And this part kind of hurt me because like Senku's like not um like, yeah, you definitely will do that. He still kind of like holds on to like a sliver of that like pessimism, and it's just like, yeah, you could probably do it, couldn't you? Or you would try, huh? I mean, not would try, but like you could probably do it. Something like that. Basically, not saying like 100% he's with it, but he's like, I respect I respect what you're doing. I don't necessarily believe it, but hey man, like, thank you. Thank you. So, oh, that moment was super, super touching to me. Which, by the way, I think it would be really cool if that was kind of a foreshadow, because I've said in some of my other videos, I would really think it would be cool if they do defeat White Man, like that gets done, but on the return trip, something happens. Things don't go quite as planned. Maybe they explode on the way back. They get destroyed on the way back. They get pet. Something happens, right? And they're not able to be found and depetrified for like decades. And by the time that they're depetrified, basically, civilization is in full swing, like completely in full swing, and like there's still it'll be like this really cool marriage of the stone world and modern technology, because at the end of the day, even after a handful of decades, we're not going to be back at exactly where we were when all this started. It's going to take, I would say, bare minimum half a decade, bare minimum half a decade to probably get to. Actually, that's a lie. I don't want to say half a decade. It would take a really long ass time to like rebuild the infrastructure of like how things are. But I also think it would be cool because we're not starting from scratch like civilization did. So maybe this time around, people take risks and gambles in infrastructure and like set future proofing the design for civilization. But I would think it would be super cool if we open up and everyone's kind of grown up, and like Chrome and Suica, like amazing scientists that have like created tremendous innovations under like Xenos, and like there's technology that we didn't even have originally. And then you have Risui, who's basically like Chancellor of Earth or some shit like that. And then you have everyone's kids and stuff like that. It would be really, really dope. So that's something that I'm kind of fingers crossed hoping we get as a closure in the end of the series. Anyway, the next scene is we have Joel and Kaseki finally meeting each other. This is something that I've been very, very excited for and looking forward to for like the entirety of like them expressing that they would love to meet each other and love to work with each other. And so they have an engineer's toast, and they start reviving the Medusa that they basically decommissioned after the one incident. And it's a beautiful thing to watch them work together. They work so fast together, and they get the Medusa up and running relatively quickly. And it's the Medusa that they're going to use to petrify the three of them, the crew that are going into space, so that they can pretty much save on life support, right? And so this prompts Yo, Zeno, and Ukyu to bring up the fact that, hey, like the Medusa kind of went off willy nilly by itself previously. Is this something that like we're gonna have to be concerned about? And basically, it's just established that that's just part of the risk that's being taken here. We just have to have faith. But what bothers me the most is the prime suspect, sus among us, number one. Ukyu is the last one in the series of panels to have a statement about this, and he's just basically like what I said earlier. We just have to take a chance. We don't have any other options, and I'm just nervous what that means. Once again, I think there's more than meets the eye with this quote unquote betrayal, if you can even call it a betrayal. I truly am just under the impression that there is some kind of rationale reason why he did that, if he was in fact the one that did that. So excited for that. And yeah, so we end the chapter with Senku just sitting there pondering and reminiscing about this entire journey from start to finish, all the things that they have accomplished and done together, and how it's all culminated in this rocket launch. And he can't hear anything, can't feel anything, can't feel any vibrations, which once again, can we just take a second to acknowledge and appreciate and hype the fact that like petrification has to be like, I've said this in like one of my first ever reviews, what I imagine like the worst scenario of death being, where you can't move, you can't do anything, you have no bodily autonomy, but you're still conscious. Your consciousness is there. And that is what Senku and the rest of them are suffering right now, where like they can't do anything but think. They're trapped in their bodies. And honestly, that has to be the most terrifying, scary thing. And he's just operating on faith, and science, of course, that, you know, his gadget's going to work, that it's going to depetrify him when the time is right, that, you know, the rocket ship is going to work. It won't explode them into many pieces. He now has the added faith that, you know, if he does blow up, that like hopefully, you know, Taiju and them will put him together, no matter how long that takes. He has the faith that, you know, once we get to the moon, they won't be like shot down or attacked. So like, there's a lot of just, you know, of a gamble being taken here, but this really did feel like the culmination of a story. Like from beginning to end, this was the goal, and we're finally here. And I just want to remind everyone, like before the petrification even took place, before the main plot of the story was even a thing, and like we needed to defeat Y-Man and figure out like about the petrification, Senku was a kid that had dreams and aspirations of going to space one day. He wanted to build a rocket ship of his own and rocket fuel of his own. Like literally, the first thing we see him doing in a lab is trying to create rocket fuel. And so for him to be able to like achieve his dream, despite, you know, different circumstances, what a full circle moment. And that countdown was also very, you know, touching because, you know, when he was in stone, he had to count for hundreds of years, or was it thousands of years? He had to count for, you know, centuries, um, before he was depetrified, and now he's counting backwards, basically bringing the world back to what it was before the Stone Age. Which I think that's a little bit of a stretch. You guys still have a long ways to go, but in the previous chapter, you know, they remade a bunch of stuff, microwaves, cameras, touch screens. Oh, by the way, that cell phone is hilarious, but like I loved it nonetheless. Anyway, I love where this story is going. Sad that it's ending so soon. Um, Honestly, I've gotten over my annoyance with the pace. I've started to embrace it a little bit more, so that's awesome. But yeah, man, what a tremendous story. Can't wait for them to get to space. Can't wait for the mystery and the resolution of like who, what, why man is, and just the motives and how they go about solving all of this. Anyway, this has been Otaku Talk. I'm your host OD. Please like, share, most importantly, subscribe. I need to get those subscribers back, and have a great weekend. And if I don't post a video by then or hear from you guys by then, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. Happy New Year. Take care. Peace.